Hi, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be here for the Lean in Pakistan Foundation story number 25, which is featuring the incredible Khursheed Kotwal, who's heading the Lean in Pakistan Management Consultant Circle. This ace accountancy whiz is not only a woman who is CEO of her own brand, and is someone who is taking the accountancy world by storm with her incredible wisdom, experience, but she's also someone building the community of female management consultants here in Pakistan, for which we're really proud of her and thankful to her being the circle chair. And she's being interviewed today by the incredible Shireen Kamal, who you all know from previous interviews, is one of the leaders within the Lean in Pakistan Foundation community and a member of the LFBVI Circle. We absolutely adore Shireen and are thrilled to have her be one of the backbones in our community. So
thank you.
Best of luck to you both. And Shireen and Khursheed, have a wonderful interview.
Thank you. Hi, Khursheed. How are you?
Hi, Shireen. And thank you, Tara, for the lovely introduction.
So, Khursheed Kotwal is with us, winner of Most Influential Women associated with Institute of Chartered Accountants Pakistan, Chairperson Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, having worked with Unilever Pakistan as Corporate Finance Director. And today we are going to ask you to talk about your journey, your story of success.
Okay, thank you, Shireen. So if I start, I'll maybe start with my childhood, that like all little children, we come from a family where our parents have always encouraged us to do things the right way, have good values, and follow our dreams. And it's very important that from an early age, when all these things are instilled into you, then you end up achieving your dreams. So I would say that I was very fortunate with where my parents were concerned. And I had a good school background from the Mama Parsi school. And after that, I did my CA, which was thought to be a profession not for women. But I managed to put my foot into it. And almost 30 years ago, I qualified. I was amongst the very few girls at that time who qualified or who did her CA. And I have some unique experiences whilst working at Unilever as well, because I worked through the system and I learned a lot of things and did a lot of jobs which were only done by men. So I have many firsts as a woman.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that's like my brief background about me.
That's right. So you can talk about how did you come along your journey. You started as a chartered accountant and now today you are in a leadership role.
So I worked for Unilever for 18 years, got a lot of experience, then started my own firm, which is a management consultancy firm. And we help clients to grow exponentially. We help corporates. And in addition, I now have a number of other portfolios. I'm also a council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. So I had to be elected from members from around the world. And this was quite a difficult task, I would say, but I managed to do that. And I now also hold other portfolios as well. For example, I am the chairperson of the Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. Digital technology is one of my passions. At Unilever also, I have been trained on a lot of, whilst I may not be a finance person, but a lot of digital technology knowledge was provided to us. So I have multiple, in fact, the beauty of working for a multinational is that you end up learning a lot more other than your own field. So I have a fairly good idea about supply chain, marketing, sales, etc. So I would say I'm like a all-rounder in these areas, and I help companies and businesses in different areas. Like,
that's remarkable, and so much of accomplishment that I think you must have spoken about half of that, I'm sure. But would you like to talk about your other activities as well? Your interest, your activities?
okay, so besides my normal work that I do and the work that I do for the Institute of Chartered Accountants, I also do a lot of social work as well. So I, for example, help companies like non-profit organizations as well to bring in best practices for how to run their organization or business. And for our own Zoroastrian community as well, I'm on the trust board. In addition, I'm also a member of the various women's forum as well, which do a number of work with craftsmen and small women entrepreneurs, to help them actually organize themselves and
That's
to showcase their
incredible.
products. Like,
Mhm.
so, I try and pass on my knowledge and expertise as well to others on a pro bono basis also, for those who can't afford to have put in good practices in their organization.
That's so impressive, Khursheed. We are so honored. Such a pleasure to hear you. Uh, would you also like to share something regarding your awards, your recognitions
Yes,
throughout
so
your
I would
journey?
say, I think, yes, as a student as well, I have, like, had good grades and positions, like, and I would say I have different expertise, even in school. Like, it was not just about academics that I was also very good at art. So, for example, I used to often get prizes in art, and on my school leaving certificate, I'm credited more for being an art student,
That's great.
saying that I am a born
Mm,
artist, like, because
mhm.
I won a lot of prizes and did things spontaneously, like, so. Art, I still admire, appreciate flowers and gardening. Like, that's also one of my
That's good.
passion as well. So multiple things I
Yeah.
enjoy to do in my free time.
Oh, you get
Like,
some free time because being into finance, it's so demanding. And then, of course, with the family, with the other commitment, how do you keep a balance?
okay, so my kids are now quite grown. And of course, initially it was a big challenge when my kids were small. But I think what women have is they learn a lot of talents, and one of them is multitasking. So
That's
my
true.
children are now grown up; they are adults, like, living their lives abroad. So yes, I don't have to spend too much time, and I always look forward talking to them on the phone, but or meeting them, on a holiday or vacation when they are here or when we are traveling. But yes, time. I think you can always make time through proper planning, and this, I believe, is also
Mm,
one of my strengths, because
mm,
I would say I'm a great planner. I have planned my days and my weeks and my months already. Like, so if you picked up
mhm.
my electronic calendar, you would see every day and every hour already marked and slotted as to what I need to do.
That's
So that
commendable.
and
Mm,
whatever needs to be done, work that needs to be done. I am very particular about meeting deadlines or trying to finish my targets,
mm.
before the deadline. Like, this is what I have, done even as a child. Again, I would say it's also parents' upbringing as well, that,
That's true.
I
The
was
environment
never
that you
late.
get.
Yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
never late at school, not even 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Always 5, 10 minutes early to school. In college, the same thing. Even at work, I was probably amongst the first ones to be 15 minutes late. I may be in the top position or the top slot, but I always came in early, like, because I thought that, you cannot bang on come in at the time the work starts. You'll either be a little early or a little late, like.
That's so impressive,
So,
and
so
of course, and learning for others as well. You must have enjoyed working in the corporate sector for more than 2 decades. You've been there, and now empowered with a greater leadership role. So, how do you feel about that?
yes, I think it was a great experience working for Unilever. Even when I joined Unilever in 1991, there were very few women or girls working for women in the management role, like, so there were secretaries, etc., but very few in the management side. And it was difficult initially to break the barriers. Even the promotions took a while in the system, or giving on big responsibilities. And continuously I had to push my way through the system. I had to tell them to treat me like an equal and not like a somebody from a different gender, like.
Mm-hmm.
So I in my career I went to the factories. I pushed those boundaries where even my foreign boss, my British boss, would tell me, but we've never sent women to the factory. And I would say, well, that's where the real experience lies as well. So I would have to keep on knocking at different doors at different times in my career to tell them to give me the same sort of exposure that my other colleagues or my male colleagues got, so that I won't be left behind when it came to the next career move, like, and to
Mm-hmm.
get the same career development. I think this is, and this would be my message also for all the women as well, that if you should not go by what some people are throwing your way. You should follow your own dreams. You should make your own pathways and never feel disappointed if you're given a pushback because you are a woman, or because people think it should be not done by women, like. So follow your dreams, like.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing all this, because I'm sure it's going to, so many of us would benefit from what you are talking to us. Just tell us that in MNCs, you were dealing with the internal customers and then dealing with wider spectrum of clients in own consultancy. So when did you lean in your career, in dreams, in life?
So
What do you think that when was it that you really felt that you lean for your dreams in life?
So actually, when I was at Unilever, like I said, I loved doing different things rather than doing the same repetitive tasks, like. So if I had a role to play, for example, when I was chief auditor at Unilever, I did the most interesting areas which nobody would have touched on. I would have gone and done the marketing side as well, and I would do work on the operational side as well. And it was it was a very interesting, where we also got to see lots of dimensions of the company, like. And externally also we did interact with our suppliers and our vendors, because as the corporate finance director we had to continuously be in
Mhm.
touch with our vendors and our suppliers as well, in terms for their payments or in terms of their queries, etc. So we were externally oriented as well. And of course, my background was that I was known in the industry, in the sense that externally as well, I was very active in terms of speaking at different forums, being invited to ceremonies to share my thoughts, to discuss about some papers, etc. So I did have a lot of external orientation as well. And it's after that you've done almost all the roles that I thought to myself, what now, what next? And whilst I was offered a role in Singapore as the chief auditor for Unilever Singapore, I turned that down because I thought to myself that I've done enough of auditing all my life, and I am the one who likes to learn new things. I'm a learner. I like to, you know, learn new skill sets, try and see other things as well, rather than staying in a comfortable position. To me, comfort is not the game I play. I like change. I like
Challenges.
diversity.
Yeah.
I like challenges, like, you know,
That's so
so
impressive. Yeah.
so so that's when I decided that I don't want to do the jobs that they want me to do, and I decided then to start my own consultancy firm. And whilst I was advised by most people not to do that, not to leave such an amazing high profile job, because I was the corporate finance director, again the first woman in Unilever history, in Unilever Pakistan, to have made it to that level, like, you know, and all my roles were, I was the first female in the role, whatever roles that I did, as chief auditor, corporate controller, management accountant, etc. So all these roles, but you know, I decided that no, I would take the challenge, and this meant starting from zero or scratch, because I did not have a family or a background where I could just walk into somebody's business and take over from there. You know, I was offered a lot of jobs even when the market found out that I was available, but I decided to build a brand for myself and started my own firm life.
That's incredible. Khursheed, it's so nice to hear you. It's like walking along you in your journey. Now, moving ahead, in regard to Tara's uh, commendable efforts to give back to the community, especially regarding the women empowerment and taking opportunity of Lean in Pakistan, what else would you like to advise or share with other ladies, other women?
I think Tara is doing a brilliant job with Lean In. Like, you know, I have met her several times and we interact on different occasions on various programs and all. And since years, she's been really helping women in Pakistan to achieve their dreams. So I think this Lean In program is really good. And of course, all her activities. I do keep on also reading on the social media as well, and I feel she's doing a brilliant job with it.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
yes, there is a lot that can be done. You see, what one thing that I felt I missed out was that, you know, we women, our networking has to be really strong. Like, you know, like the men, when they can go and play golf on a weekend. You know, women are staying at home managing the family or the other affairs. They are not too much into networking, or sometimes we don't get those opportunities as well as women. In our days, mentoring women or you know, those kind of opportunities were very remote. Today, yes, I am myself mentoring a lot of young girls and women and entrepreneurs, etc. And all these come through all these good programs like Lean In. And Pakistan needs all this. Pakistan needs this support. Pakistani women do need guidance, because our culture is also a bit different, you know. Our culture, women are expected, you know, even after having the best education, to be more domesticated rather than to follow your dreams. Like, so their dreams, so you know, the young girls, they need guidance, the senior people, they need guidance as well, you know, and also mentoring of how to stay in touch with the profession so that you're able to quickly come back into your field, like as a working woman. So I think Tara is doing a brilliant job, and we've
That's
invited her
true.
also
Yeah.
to our event as well. And I think that, it is definitely helping a lot of women. Like,
Such a pleasure to listen to you. It's been really inspiring for me, for so many other ladies. You spoke so much about your journey in such a little time, but we are so grateful to you for sparing time to us. Thank you very much. And we thank Lean in Pakistan Chair Tara Uzra Daud for providing opportunity to professional women, empowering each other to build purposeful and fulfilling careers. Thank you so much for your time, Khursheed.
thank you, Shireen. Wonderful talking to you.
Same here.